What's up, guys? Hello and welcome to another cast here on the channel AshNGD, and today we're having a look at a game played on the Korean server. It is going to be IREL King, the man, the myth, the legend. And we're going to watch a very much me matchup, so I'm going to explain why in a second. So I've been playing IRELIA again lately, and Tahm Kench is one of those matchups that just completely breaks me. Okay, so number one, I'm going to go through this more as a review for myself, and I think that this is a valuable thing in comparison to the other casts that I've done so far that are a little bit more focused on entertainment. This one is a little bit more focused on kind of figuring out what exactly is going on, so there might be a little bit more slowing it down and figuring stuff out. Okay, so first of all, Tahm Kench doesn't do the thing that Tahm Kench players are supposed, or that generally people that are lane against IRELIA are supposed to do. So let me pull up my epic pen. So I'm gonna try to explain this in the best way I can. Hopefully I get it. So basically, right? In the beginning, in the beginning of the lane, here, you kind of have an opportunity here, right? So what Tahm Kench can do is he can, for example, kill one minion specifically, and he can kind of force these minion HPs to not sync up. Why would you do that? Because it denies the IRELIA the ability to hit 4 stacks on her passive, right? Her passive, minion 1, minion 2, minion 3, and this is hitting Tahm Kench. And that one would allow her basically to get a full stacked passive, trade an all-in, and run him down. Now, a couple of things. Tahm Kench Q early levels can be pretty useful, so I'm not entirely sure if she even wins that, if he has Grasp procced. I presume that Grasp will be coming up soon here. But this is something that, I'm personally not entirely sure about. But it is needless to say, it is a fact that he does not do this, right? So Aleri goes in, inputs an auto attack, doesn't immediately cancel this. He could also cancel, but instead he goes for 2 auto attacks, then Q, right? And pulls the wave towards him. Now, what does this create? This creates a minion wave that is a little bit further in this vicinity, which allows him about 1 more auto attack on the chase back if he were to all in. But as a trade-off, he did take minion damage that would equalize him. Now, I want you to, whenever you are looking at... Oh, actually, we're running Lethal Temple. Very interesting. I want you to look at the 4 stacks here. We have the 4 stacks over here, and those are very vital to the pre-level 2, level 3 trades specifically. I mean, they're focus point of all IRELIA laning. Okay, so here, this is a classic IRELIA thing. He tethers back here, and he plays far back. This works versus low elo players because they miss space you, right? The way you space IRELIA is you space IRELIA from the lowest minion to you instead of from the champion. So you kind of have to go like, okay, is this Q range? And no, like Q range would be somewhere here, I think. Maybe here. Maybe he's like barely in Q range here, but I think he's barely outside it right now. And then you look at the range over here where you're like, okay, and here she would be able to Q like this, right? So that's the way you want to space her. Of course, this Tahm Kench is no fool. Right now he's hovering inside of Q range, by the way. This is him being inside of Q range here. Right? And we will see him jump. Second here goes in. Now, this is what Tahm Kench did. What Tahm Kench could have done is he could have approached from here thus creating a weird scenario where IRELIA is like behind him, but also further away from him, so can't do the auto attack Q. Here, Ilari might be able to do an auto attack Q instead of only the queuing onto the target, which gives him much more ability. So here, yeah, you can see that Tahm Kench with his Q, he has lost some HP, so at this point his Q is doubly effective. It deals damage and it heals him. So you can see that Ilari will be respecting this one. And now we're playing for level 2 here. Tahm Kench is of course aware of the level 2 coming up for IRELIA, and I'm a bit surprised that Ilari played it like this. Because what would have made sense to me is to hit this minion like twice, then go back, and then on the all-in, like try to all-in him on level 2, right? Because then surely you win. Maybe? Who knows? Maybe he's not super focused. Maybe he's playing for something else. You see that he hasn't leveled up a spell yet. Now he goes for it. You can see he's playing this conservative. He's not using his Q here. Okay, and he's trading into the grasp here. So he's doing relatively well. Now we are in a situation where the next question mark. So on each lane phase, there are different win cons, right? On each position. So position number 1, right? This number 1 is the 4 level trade. And this is the win here is basically this to this type deal, right? This is the win condition here, or the optimal kind of situation that you can achieve, right? Then we go on forward to level 2, right? So level 2, this depends on champion. Depending on the champion, you could get a kill here. Versus most champions like Tahm Kench, though, you're not gonna get a kill. Instead, you're seeing what the win condition is here. The win condition would probably be... the best situation would probably be something like this, right? And anything like high reload, right? Something like this, where you lose a little bit more, but you deal much more, thus feeding into the next win condition, right? So all of these things set up for different situations, right? So here now we have 2 win conditions. And you can see which one he decides on the way he plays the wave. So number 1, there would be a potential win condition of diving, right? But there is no jungler here, right? This guy isn't here. So this guy is over here. So we don't care about that. Then the next win condition would be killing Tahm Kench in a solo dive. Now, to kill Tahm Kench in a solo dive, you probably need to get this. And you need to get level 3 before he gets level 3, right? So those are, I would say, the prerequisites for that happening, which is relatively unlikely. We see the level 3, auto attack, we go back. And now here, there's another bridge available. So you can see that he's kind of looking, and Tahm Kench is respecting the ability of IRELIA here. This was another trap that was laid out. And now we're pushing the wave in. And this is very important. If you look at the tower, the wave goes in literally the last second possible. So why do we say this? Enemy wave is right here. If enemy wave is right here, these minions stay over here and they're outside of tower range, which we don't want. So this is the last timing to get the wave in to the tower. And Tahm Kench, because of this clutch timing, Tahm Kench would be able to freeze here and hold the wave. Now, this is a very high damage wave. If you look at the minions that are available, right? It's a very high damage wave. And so it is very dangerous for Tahm Kench to do it. But I think what Tahm Kench could do is he could be like, okay, I go here. I try to bait out either a little bit of mana here out of IRELIA, and trade it for more HP, right? Or I kind of hold the wave, trade a little bit of HP here in order to get a favorable lane state. Either way, I think that Tahm Kench needs to freeze the lane here. And the next thing here, this is very important, the timing. So there are gank timings in the game. You see right now it's 250, 254. Sorry, I can't write like this, but so you see it's like 254, right? And number one gank opening is usually 230, is the most realistic because that one is a level 3 gank timing. And then 2 minute and, well, 30-ish onwards. 3 minute 30-ish onwards is level 4 gank timing, depending on junglers. So we do want to go and place a ward before 230, because 230 the jungler can already be here, and then you get jumped on, and Tahm Kench E goes from here to here, and then you're kind of in a unfortunate spot where you have to flash or whatever, thus giving you a weaker lane situation. And then that, of course, snowballs into whatever happens, right? So we're placing a ward. And here, the lane is still in a bit of an unfortunate spot. And here you can see that... so what is happening here is that IRELIA has to farm the minions under tower, which is kind of an unfortunate situation, and this is a kind of standoff that is unfavorable for IRELIA, because he doesn't have any all-in pressure here onto Tahm Kench, and he kind of is in a weird situation where, like, you know, the minions are gonna be less reachable for him than they are for Tahm Kench, because Tahm Kench can always retreat, and the chance of, like, you land, basically IRELIA positions herself here and here if she queues, which lands you in tower range. So like, worst situation possible here. And I think what you could have done is you could have, like, maybe faked a recall, which, you know, is a very low chance, and the rest that you can do is just hover here, kind of sit back. And you have to understand that here now the wave is pushing towards Tahm Kench, which creates the next win condition. So after the potential win conditions of diving and stuff, which aren't happening, we are aware that Nidalee is bot side, and Talon is going to need at least 30 seconds to be able to move, and then another like 20 something to get up here. So by that time, the wave will have progressed to this point, and none of them are planning to fight here, because this fight will consume all of their resources. So we know that we have another minute plus time until anyone can be there. The fastest someone can be there is, for example, Nidalee dying or Talon dying and then straight up running top lane, which is unrealistic on like an overextended wave, right? Unless you have like a Milky Way type big brain. So yeah. Then also, big waves are favorable for IRELIA versus skill shot champions. This is very important. Like, not, you know, they're not really favorable against someone like Tryndamere, but they unless you're like crazy good. But usually they're most favorable against skill shot champions, and Tahm Kench has 2 of those. So it's not too bad. You will see here that he kind of starts hitting the melee minions. This allows him to get easy stacks, number one, but also allows him potential outs whenever he goes for a trade. So here you can see he's kind of going in for a trade, right? And here the unthinkable happens. The cannon minion survives with like 1 HP, and we mess up. So here, boom, boom, and the cannon minion, you saw it. Cannon minion survived, unfortunately, and I believe this is because Tahm Kench, yeah, I think this is belief. Yeah. So Tahm Kench actually got minion aggro. You can see it by Tahm Kench inputting, and the minions also inputting for no reason. Like before the cannon minion died. So there might be a little bit of minion aggro situation happening, but at the end of the day, he misjudged the damage. That is a sad situation, because this was kind of his choice. And now we once again are in that situation where we have to look mana. Right? We are at 100 mana. And this is going to be our last shot. So basically our last shot to win is going to be with this mana. So very common noob mistake that I would make too would be to try to keep up the stacks here. But yeah, you can see we're not capable of keeping up the stacks if we don't beautiful flash. And he barely survives. This is lethal tempo though. This is pre-nerf lethal tempo. I wasn't able to find any Tahm Kench games previous patch. So unfortunately, this is the pre-nerf lethal tempo, which of course allows you very different all-in timings than Conqueror. Would have to test if it's still a viable option. It is going to scale better in late game now with the nerfs, but it's going to be much weaker early. Usually the champions that pick it to be stronger early, especially on IRELIA. I think you would take it mainly into matchups where you just end up needing raw DPS instead of the utility from Conqueror, where you're gonna want to get more value out of your auto attacks basically. So we got to be very careful with Tahm Kench, because Tahm Kench can eat you and put you into tower. So you can see here how IRELKing is kind of tethering around the Tahm Kench stacks and also trying to keep his passive and lethal tempo up. Now he's dropped both of them, which makes it very difficult for him to enter. You can see that by Tahm Kench's positioning as well. That Tahm Kench is... I mean, he's not allowing Tahm Kench any trading windows here. This is very important. He's not long trading Tahm Kench. This is definitely something that I've made as a mistake. I have tried to long trade and all-in Tahm Kenches, and I think this is one of the big problems. Okay. So right now we're playing it slow. We have a pickaxe and a longsword. Very good items. The E misses. Tahm Kench is able to step up here. And you see that Larry is also trying to avoid trading into the Conqueror. This is something that... into the Grasp of the Undying. This is something that I've realized is necessary as well. You just have to be very careful, because if they get to trade Conqueror into you, the Grasp into you too much, you just lose on that. Which is the reason why I tried to go for like a more extended kind of trade, but I think the best trades are where you just stun auto queue. Do that a couple of times and then you can get to the point where you can find an all-in onto the person. Okay, here we're trying to deny the cannon minion. That was successful. Gotta be still very careful. So you see IRELKing is not trading heavily in the wave because he's trying to hold it at a point where he can't be all-in under tower, right? Where he can't get dove, nor can get, ganked by overextending the lane itself. Again, IRELIA is very important. The mana management is key. You can use a lot of your mana to sustain yourself up, but then you lose the mana forever. And that one is the big resource. The big missing resource on IRELIA. Okay, probably on this minion, yeah, we're going for a trade here. That's because there's only one little minion there, and we're trying to kind of extract maximum value out of this push. Then again, put Tahm Kench into a situation where he has to be afraid of getting dove. So here we're now setting this one up. You see that he's not fast pushing the wave in. He's taking his time, and then look at his wave. That can show you where the enemy wave is. So here he will have to start acting now to get the wave in. You can see that Tahm Kench is holding it slightly here, and he's being successful with it. So it's not a good situation to be in. Yeah, you see how one-sided the Tahm Kench trades are. You can see what Tahm Kench is doing here. This is a gank setup, and this has to be an outplay angle for the IRELIA. We are getting put into tower. The Q is preset, and we still have the ability to go onto the cat here. The Galio ult saving him. And that is a double kill. Very beautifully played on that overextended wave. I'm not entirely sure that he should have killed Tahm Kench there without Galio ultimate, but and that was not what he was planning to do, right? But yeah, He played that pretty well. I think he didn't W the Tahm Kench ultimate. This is something that if you know what he's going to do, I think Wing that is always favorable because you can deal damage to him and also you get the damage reduction on the spit out, which is a good part of his damage. But I'm not entirely sure, so kind of, yeah, maybe there's something that I don't know that you know on that one. Alright, we have played off the Rune King. At this point, the lane is very favored towards IRELIA because IRELIA... Oh, we also have a Sunfire Cape here. Sunfire Cape's not that good. It allows you some pressure as Tahm Kench onto the wave, but it's generally not the best trading tool here, and we see that... Oh, beautiful. So what IRELIA is doing here is he's using his... He's using his Q reset as an auto attack reset. Kind of abusing Tahm Kench with that. Oh, you see here, we did not reset our Q correctly for a second there. Now it's fine. Okay, not a bad job. Yeah, now we have Merc Treads. Merc Treads very, very big here. Decent amount of Tahm Kench's damage is magical, especially without something like Heartsteel. And we are capable of, well, we are capable of running him down even harder now. The most difficult thing about Tahm Kench is his ability to kind of punish you trying to all in by just kind of stunning you with his tongue. And that one is a kind of outplay question mark thing, right? Where it's like you have to kind of mind game him on the just simple mark Q or the mark QQ, which puts you onto different sides of him, and he will have to kind of guess where you're going or take like 2-3 autos more. So here we're missing the... It's unfortunate. We're missing the tongue, but also IRELIA is missing his abilities. You can see him just walk up there. At this point, you have to kind of ask yourself if it's worth it to spend all of the resources to kill this Tahm Kench. When, yeah, you can create a situation like this anyway, where Tahm Kench will have to give up a, TP to safely get the wave. And you can have a safer situation than just running him down without any minions. Okay. Seems like we're taking Scuttle Crab, which is always it's always important, especially on these champions like Yasuo and IRELIA. If you generate a lead to be able to take 1 or 2 jungle camps per kind of cycle of that can be very good. Beautiful. Oh my god. Beautiful Q cancel, E cancel there. Absolutely amazing job. And he's gonna slow build waves here. Hopefully. Yeah, he doesn't get it. So this is kind of unfortunate, because I think he could have been faster or slower with it, and both would have been good. But here he used the minions to trade, thus consuming his shot at trading. Yeah, taking a lot of damage here. You can see that he's not interested really in killing this Tahm Kench at this point. At this point, you're also reaching the point where his grasp is starting to scale, and each time he gets a trade back. At this point, right? So each time he gets that trade back, he's gonna scale a little bit more than he would have. So you want to keep... Yeah. You want to keep a balance of kind of creating opportunities for you and your team, and also not giving him too much grasp procs. One of the easiest mistakes to make is to just over trade someone and then give him infinite grasp procs, and then they just end up kind of, 2v3ing your team while you're going to town in the backline. Okay, so W second max is classic on IRELIA. This is nothing new. I'm not entirely sure that there's ever a reason to go E2 with all that Q gives you. Maybe it is slightly more damage, but yeah, in general, it's not really it. Beat Tahm Kench A-Tim. This is one less cooldown. And a Larry. He's playing this one slow because he knows that he can escape through the wave. Yeah, this is what happens to me if I play against Tahm Kench. I just spend all my mana trying to fight him, then he lives barely, and then it's just kind of messed up. Did get tower here, very big. We're gonna get Wit's End, and I think at this point we're reaching that point of kind of no return for Tahm Kench soon, where IRELIA can be a pretty decent tank buster if she starts to get decently ahead. Because I know tank can rival her ability to move quickly. Okay, so very good job by the Nidalee here. As Master Yi, trying to go for it, and the IRELIA gets the ladder. We're trying to flash auto attacks over here. Classic support player. As the Larry will not be able to get the Tahm Kench. That one goes over to the Master Yi. But we do get our wave here in, and we are very close to the Wit's End, and you can see it. We're taking another camp. Did deny the crab from Nidalee as well, and this game is also already looking very tough. No, not unthrowable, but versus people like a Larry, it's going to be very hard. So here we are getting the stacks. Talon versus IRELIA is a very hard matchup for the Talon, as IRELIA is able to deal with the burst. Decent attempt here by Larry. He's trying to go in and then flash out so he doesn't take the tower shot there. We'll go down anyway to the Nidalee, and that one is a double kill for the Nidalee. As the Varus was still taken down, so at least a little bit of trading here, but this was, of course, very aggressive. We're going for the Sundered Sky here. Sundered Sky is very, very strong. It allows you to kind of fly out real quick. Get a Thundered Sky onto like multiple people, kind of heal yourself up for a lot. Why are we watching our own shorts out here? Oh god. What? That was his stream. He was like messing around with his stream. I'm so confused. I feel like that is not what he wanted to do. I think he wanted to replay the fight to see if he could have, if he cancelled an auto attack onto the Varus or something like that. Could have played that better. Oh, this is a lot of people. You gotta be careful, IRELIA. Varus and Thresh are capable of cancelling your Qs, but he stays out of the Thresh range here. Varus ultimate to start it off is not so good against IRELIA. But of course you kind of want to keep her out of range, but at that point it's already too late, and he just kind of moving up, knows his limits very well, and just kind of, well, yeah, just kind of gets this one over with. Yeah, I think the dragon is kind of safe here, but his, dude, I swear to God, like, look at his team just not doing it until he starts to input as well. They were just like chasing, I don't know, who were they chasing? Like Thresh? They're chasing someone. Nah, Thresh died early that fight, so. Probably Talon or someone like that. Okay. Gotta be careful. We're only level 14. We haven't been in the side lane for a long time, so the level lead we've been able to generate isn't crazy. But it's already 4 levels above the 80 carry, and yeah, the 80 carry is dead here. Although we do miss our Q, yeah. The FF coming through. I think this was a really good review for me, personally. If you took anything away from this, make sure to let me know that you liked this one. It's a very different format. And generally, I think the first like 8 minutes of this were very insightful for me. And so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome.